Vegas, Montreal, 13-14. We've got no line in this hockey game. This is one of those times where usually when it's a second night of back-to-backs, I'm not sure who the goalie's going to be. I'd be shocked if it's not Maxime Lagace in net for the Vegas Golden Knights tonight, back-to-back or not. This is a situation where he, it's his hometown, near his hometown, Quebec. He's going to have family there. He's going to be in net. You can bank on that tonight. There's no way they're not going with Maxime in net. But Maxime Lagace has to really improve on consistency. Last night, he battled in the second period, battled in the third period, battled in overtime, played a little bit better, but that first period was horrendous from him. I don't think the James Van Riemsdyk goal in front of the net should have been stopped right through the 5-hole. The Kadri goal could have been stopped right through the 5-hole. He didn't have a stick in the 5-hole. That's a number one rule for goaltenders. You got to have that stick down on the ice in front of that 5-hole so the puck doesn't slide by you. That's like having sex without a condom. You got to have that protection there. Put that stick down or else you're in trouble. And that's the way it is, just like that. So it's one of those situations where put that stick down, Maxime Lagace, and you might have been fine against JVR and Kadri in those 2 Leaf goals that he ended up giving up to them last night. So again, it's one of those situations where it's a young goalie. He never thought in a million years coming into the season he would be thrust into this situation, getting multiple starts in a row as a number one goalie for the Vegas Golden Knights. So he's doing the best he can. It's a tough spot. 4th goalie in the organization now in there for the Golden Knights. But here's a guy that is going to be amped up beyond belief. The key handicap here from Lagace's perspective is this a guy that's going to be too amped up where it's going to negatively impact his performance, or is he going to be fired up big time here and end up just absolutely stonewalling the Montreal Canadiens? And the Canadiens have perked up offensively. Let's give this team their due. They have been better at the offensive end of the ice. It's one of those situations where, their offense has perked up a little bit, no question. That's going to help them against the Vegas team that, again, on this road trip outside of the Boston Bruins game, they've still struggled to keep the puck out of their net. I'm sure Gerard Gallant's been hounding this team. Got to keep the shots against low. We can't go up and down the ice. And actually, they did a good job against Toronto after the first period. They made some adjustments. They started to keep the shots on goal much lower at that point, but they got to do it for 60 minutes tonight against Montreal. It's a game I'm not going to be involved in probably from a side or total perspective, but it's a good game to watch. I cashed Vegas-Toronto over last night, and the reason I was on it is because, Vegas hasn't faced too many offensive juggernauts this season. Toronto's one of them with a 4th goalie, and the fact that they had given up goals in bunches on this road trip, including to Ottawa the game before that. I figured they'd struggle defensively, and Lagace would struggle a bit. Sure enough, that happened, but I'll probably stay away from this game. Let's give Dana a chance to talk about it. Vegas-Montreal, since he's there. What do you think here? Vegas-Montreal, Lagace probably a net near his hometown, amped up. What do you expect to see from him specifically tonight and this Golden Knights team?
Yeah, there's no way he's not going to be a net tonight. Of course he is. I mean, it's Dylan, they've had 4 goaltenders so far this year, and two of which, one of which is a bona fide NHL goaltender, and the others are, struggling to make it. Even, Subban was a guy that got a cup of coffee and a thimble of coffee, if you will, with Boston, and otherwise he was an AHL goaltender that was struggling to be a number one netminder in Providence. So I think sometimes, yes, there was times last night that I was not happy with Lagace's performance, but let's keep in mind, I mean, this is a guy that really has never had terrific numbers on any level. I mean, you would have to go back to his junior days in Quebec to actually find some numbers that look like he would thrust himself into the National Hockey League at one point. Even his AHL numbers have been absolutely horrible. So for what they're doing this year and what these guys have done to protect their goaltenders, heavy forechecking, they have no problem bringing 2 forecheckers up to harass teams, and Vegas they basically they are the hardest working team in the National Hockey League right now. And I think a lot of times too, there was much made about the defensemen and the glutted defensemen that the Golden Knights had. But I think that's kind of working to their advantage, because they could sit these guys for 3 or 4 games at a time and then bring other guys in, and they're fresh and ready to play a heavy forecheck hockey game. I just think that Vegas surprises a lot of teams, and for them to go into Toronto last night and get a point, I think that's good on them. Sure, there's things to shore up, but when Marc-Andre Fleury comes back, this team is going to really show you what they're made of. I do think that they protect their netminders a little bit right now, but the future is bright. I think they outwork teams on a night out basis, and let's see how that works against a Montreal team that I haven't worked hard in the majority of their games lately. We were on them when their streak is. Let's see if they can match the intensity and work Golden Knights tonight.
Yeah, and if you don't, you're going to be in some trouble. There's no question about that, because Vegas has not been outworked by many teams this season. We'll see how that game goes.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.